Hi folks, I'm Steve Hindy for Shark, showing animals respect and kindness. Today I have an extraordinary story of rodeo cruelty, cowardice, and corruption, the 3 C's of animal abuse. In our last video, we told you about the glaring conflicts of interest involving Tim Eastman, the veterinarian who refuses to acknowledge obvious animal injuries that occur at the California Rodeo in Salinas. You will recall that Dr. Eastman has the responsibility of caring for and reporting rodeo animal injuries. Eastman also has deep family ties with the rodeo, and he has no oversight, and he owns stock in the rodeo. Reporting a high number of animal injuries negatively affects the rodeo's reputation, which Eastman wants to protect, and that is the conflict of interest. Today, we will expose more ethical issues for California's biggest rodeo, this time at the state level. California state law requires that all rodeo animal injuries requiring treatment must be reported to the California Veterinary Medical Board. In 2013, Shark Video documented 23 injuries at the Salinas Rodeo, while Dr. Eastman reported only 3 injuries. Shark filed a complaint with the California Veterinary Medical Board, which is supposed to enforce the reporting law. The board supposedly began an investigation into the discrepancy. A few months later, the board exonerated Dr. Eastman after what was called a thorough review. Given the video documentation in our possession, which was shared with the world via the internet, we were stunned. The board did not give any detail as to what was or was not included in its investigation. We were left with many questions, but no answers. In 2014, rodeo vet Tim Eastman reported just 1 animal injury, while Shark cameras recorded 19 injuries. Again, we filed a complaint with the California Veterinary Medical Board, and again, the board exonerated the rodeo vet. Clearly, the system was broken. In 2015, the Animal Legal Defense Fund and the firm of Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher filed a lawsuit on behalf of Shark for unreported animal injuries at the Salinas Rodeo in 2013 and 2014. The lawsuit included a required exchange of documents between the rodeo and Shark. As a result, we now know the details of the so-called investigations conducted by the California Veterinary Medical Board. The smoking gun is a September 23, 2014 email from Bob Fox, a lobbyist for the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, or the PRCA. Mr. Fox's email was addressed to Mandy Lindquist, a spin doctor for the Salinas Rodeo, Cindy Schoenholtz, a spin doctor for the PRCA, and Salinas Rodeo vet Tim Eastman, and a few others. Lobbyist Bob Fox wrote, "I had a very productive conversation with Jolie Walker, the investigator who is handling the complaint that was filed with the Veterinary Board. She was very cooperative and gave me a comfortable feeling about how the board will handle the complaint." Why, you might ask, is a rodeo lobbyist in contact with a state investigator regarding a case of which he has no direct involvement? But Mr. Fox goes on. When I asked about the videos and whether they had received or requested unedited versions of them, she said that they would not use any YouTube videos in their investigation. If they felt that they were important, they would request videos from the sources where they could verify their authenticity. It should be mentioned that at no time did this or any other investigator from the Veterinary Board contact us to tell us that YouTube videos would not be viewed, or to ask for original video files, or for any other purpose. The Veterinary Board did not request the extensive video footage shot by multiple cameras at the rodeo by rodeo people. The California Veterinary Board, most specifically Jolie Walker, completely ignored the most important evidence available, video documentation from both Shark and the rodeo. The California Veterinary Board's claim of a thorough review is a lie, and California law has been ignored and subverted by the very agency that is supposed to enforce it. Let's continue our review of Mr. Fox's email. I mentioned that we have been dealing with some of the principals involved in this case, without mentioning any names, for many years, and that they have not had a good track record when it comes to honesty. She laughed and got it, acknowledging the requirement for reporting injuries, quote, isn't really accomplishing anything, unquote. One has to wonder why Mr. Fox wouldn't mention names if he was telling the truth. Mr. Fox's comment regarding honesty is beyond shameless. For anyone in an industry as cruel, cowardly, and corrupt as rodeo, to reference honesty is just too much. Then you have the investigator for the California Veterinary Board saying that the law she is supposed to enforce, quote, isn't really accomplishing anything, unquote. I have to ask, why are California taxpayers paying for Jolie Walker? Bob Fox then states, she offered to call me if she needed any additional information and thanked me for calling. That the vet board investigator would call Bob Fox, a lobbyist, but would not call the people making the complaint or look at the video documentation is absurd. Talk about a rigged system. It should be noted that when Shark held a press conference in Salinas a couple days before the start of the 2016 Salinas Rodeo, we invited 7 people from the rodeo side to join us, including Bob Fox and Jolie Walker. Not one person from the rodeo showed up. Not Fox, not Walker, no one. Shark has for years challenged rodeo people to publicly debate. The last public debate was in 1997 between myself and a rodeo veterinarian. That debate went very badly for the vet, and there have been none since. The PRCA absolutely states that you cannot shock any animal to make them perform, and especially bulls once they're in the chute.
You say you have videotape of that device being used in a rodeo. Is that device legal in a rodeo that's sanctioned by the PCRA?
Okay. The PRCA, it is illegal to use a prod on an animal.
So much for rough, tough cowboys. Copies of our communications have also been sent to the California Attorney General. Feel free to contact the Attorney General. Please be courteous and professional at all times, and please also let us know of any response you may receive. Shark has investigated rodeos for more than 20 years, and we know how cruel they are. We thought we knew how corrupt they were, but in this case is proving that we didn't know the half of it. And if it works this way in a supposedly progressive state like California, you can imagine the way it works in Texas, Oklahoma, Wyoming, and other rodeo states. If you care about animals, or even if you simply oppose this kind of sleazy, cowardly, un-American corruption, please don't give your money to rodeos or their sponsors such as Coca-Cola, Coors Beer, the Home Depot, Holiday Inn Express, and Safeway food stores. For more information on unethical corporate rodeo sponsors, please go to corporatethugs.com. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.